Hi, this is Kelly from the Arts Council and Elevate Cape, and I am here with a dear friend of Elevate Cape's, Michael Curry. How are you today?
I'm doing well, just living.
Yeah, L-I-V-I-N.
Yeah.
So we're here at Top Talent, and we just wanna talk about Michael and what he does in the community. So one of the first things we can do before we talk about projects that we do and stuff like that is just tell everybody about who you are and a little bit about your backstory.
Okay. So, of course, my name is Michael Curry. People call me Crank. I'm also the owner of Fingerprint Urban Dance Studios, but that was not always me. I started off as a football player, track runner, regular sports person, and I always used to love to dance at home in my private space, So transitioning from college to, from high school to college, it was practically me trying to figure out my life and what I wanted to do, as all 18-year-olds do, and I was kind of hit with some complications, such as I have MS, multiple sclerosis, relapsing and remitting, and I was diagnosed with that in November of 2013, and which caused my football career to end. So of course, playing football for that long and having coming to Southeast Missouri to play football, it was kind of like a stressful thing.
Yeah.
So really, I gained like 20 to 30 pounds within a few months. Found out, I have to pay full price for classes, and stress with classes and all that crazy stuff. So I just kind of turned into myself, and the only thing that would bring me out was dance. So dance has always kind of floated around, And then when I realized, I really love to do this, I started to dance in between classes. Because I was taking art at River Campus, and we had 3-hour classes. I would be out there every single time, dancing, and then I would come in sweaty, and everybody's like looking at me like,
Who's this sweaty
what's
guy?
going on? Yeah, like, what's going on with you, man? I'm just like, oh no, I was just dancing. So I finally ran into one of my dance teachers at the River Campus in my UI 100 class, and he was like, hey, was that you out there dancing? And I was like, yeah. He's like, you should come to the River Campus and try out a class. And I was like, what? You just busted me out in front of the class, because I'm hanging around football players and nobody kind of knows, yeah, you dance, but it was kind of like this.
Yeah, but didn't Muhammad Ali dance?
Yeah,
it's always been something that athletes do.
Yeah. Yeah, to kind of keep their minds
Training.
open and get that cross training going, So I was just like, man, okay. So months go on, and I'm just like, man, I want to try this. I go and take one class, and then I'm addicted. And I'm at the River Campus doing ballet and stuff like that, and I really kind of started to discover myself. So that kind of is what started my whole interest in dance.
Yeah. And so that has obviously had an effect on you. Does dance help with relieving symptoms of MS? Because I know with yoga, that's a relief thing. So or is it difficult to dance with that?
I really honestly, with my type of MS, and I know there's other people out there who have worse symptoms than I do. For me personally, because I resonate with dance and physicality and movement and energy space, I really feel like it helps me mentally.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, it helps my body kind of sync with everything around it, So I say it helps me. I don't know about other people. I can't speak for other people, but personally, I feel like dance is kind of what God blessed me with to save my life, or tell me where I need to go,
Yeah.
So
in that, it did tell you where you needed to go, and you opened up Fingerprint Studio, and I know that there's a lot of mentorship involved in that as you became a teacher.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you take on the role of mentor. So tell us a little bit about like what happens at Fingerprint Studio, you know, a little bit about like the classes and then about, you know, what your role, what you think mentorship is in this time and in this space.
Right. So Fingerprint, a lot of people don't know this, but Fingerprint actually started on campus. Me and a couple of friends just decided to be like, hey, let's start teaching classes and meeting up, and we kind of did videos and all that stuff, and it became this thing where we were creating a community.
Yeah.
So it was originally called Fingerprint Dance Community on campus, and I was like, we were having all of these different events that kind of didn't include the overall community. Even though we were on campus, it was like we were separate from the community.
Sure.
So I was like, how can I get into the community? And I was like, and I don't know what made me think of this, because Lord knows I never thought I would work with kids. I was like, let me see if I can get a job teaching off campus, because I needed a job and I love to dance. And I was like, okay. I went to On Cue Performing Arts Studio downtown, and they hired me. And I was like, okay. And then I was like, man, I actually really love to do this. And so we started Fingerprint Juniors off campus. So we had this kind of mentorship between the older Fingerprint and the younger Fingerprint. And that's what I think put us in this place of mentorship for the kids, you know? So eventually, with growth and all that stuff, we kind of grew away from On Cue and decided to open up Fingerprint. And that's how Fingerprint was formed. We had all these kids that we loved so much, and we never wanted to just leave them, you know? So we were like, okay, let's have our own thing as a family, bring it together, you know? So we decided to start Fingerprint 2 years ago, and that's how Fingerprint was created. But ultimately, what Fingerprint is for is to help promote being your original. What print will you leave? Meaning, what will you do in your life that helps influence a positive future for others? You know, so that's kind of where the mentorship comes from, because what print will you leave is me saying, I'm going to leave a positive imprint on these kids so they can leave a further positive imprint on other people through dance. At Fingerprint, we teach classes such as breaking, popping, robotics. We teach a little bit of everything: house, hip-hop choreography. A lot of people call us a hip-hop studio. We call it hip-hop studio, hip-hop umbrella.
Yeah.
You know, so everything that came from Black culture.
The culture, yeah.
Yeah, so like right now we have DJs, we have videographers, we have photographers, we have clothing lines, we have clothing lines owned by our kids. We have Zenith clothing line. Check that out. But shout out to Yan. But yeah, we have so much. It's like a family unit, and we just try to build each other up.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So.
My son got down on the floor last night and did a 6-step.
Yeah.
Like, while we were hanging out, so it was really cool. It was really fun to see. It was great. So in that, you're always around these kids, and you're always trying to like provide them with opportunities and take them places and do things with them. And so you had created this opportunity for one of your long-term students, Ethan, to go dance while another student kind of was DJing and stuff. And when that happened, Ethan was struck randomly by a man in a car, was hit in the face and experienced pretty serious injuries from it. And I mean, it was on national news. You know, you went to CNN and it was on CNN. So like, this happened in the last week. So I know you've had a pretty crazy week. Can you just kind of tell us a little bit about it, and you know, if there's any needs that the community can fulfill as far as, you know, helping you guys progress forward?
So a lot of people ask the question, why are we out there? You know, so going downtown was kind of this this habit that I began to have when I needed to, when I had no place to dance, you know what I mean? So I went downtown, I set a little tip jar out because I had to pay bills, you know. That's the only thing that I do. And at that point in time, I didn't know film. I didn't know how to make money with my passion. I would always be invited to all these events with my kids and all that stuff, but I didn't know my worth, you know? I also, like I said, I needed somewhere to kind of spill everything. So for about 4 or 5 years, I had been going downtown, and that's how I release. So for my kids, I wanted them to kind of incorporate that because that is a part of the culture. Street dance is a part of our culture.
Like you look at kids in the city, and
Right.
and they know where they can go, they know where they can stand. Like
Right.
it's a respected and well understood.
Right. And here in Cape, there was nothing like that.
Yeah.
And there was no dance community there. I mean, there is a dance community, but it's not this. It's kind of two separate worlds, you know.
Sure.
So for me, it was always something that was close to my heart because that's how I got out there. So for my kids, when we started the studio, even before then, we would go down on First Fridays or First Saturdays, you know.
Shout out
and
Arts Council. First
Yeah,
Friday.
yeah. And actually, like, dance on the corner close to there and just raise tips,
Yeah.
you know. And I think it's important to teach a kid how to monetize themselves as far as with their passions, because there's no reason us as adults should be telling our kids, hey, you have this passion, but you don't make that much money off of it, you know, because I feel like we all have passions for a reason.
Yeah, it's putting a limit on something
Right.
because it's not valued by that society.
Right. And a lot of people
Yeah.
say, then why are you telling kids that they need to make money from their passions? I'm like, why would you not tell a kid that?
Right.
Because a lot of kids, they dance for 18 years and then they go to college and then they do something totally different from what their passion is. You know, so for me, I really wanted to teach my kids how to start to make money, how to present themselves as a brand, how to grow as a person, not only mentally or physically, but financially as well. You gotta learn how to feed your family.
Yeah.
You know?
So in this with you know, you're talking about mentorship and the fact that we have to build practical skills for
Right.
somebody to follow their passion.
Right.
But then something like this happens,
Right,
right? So you have all the basics there, and then all of a sudden like something happens that is just like tears them down.
Right.
You know, and you have to ask the question, like, what do I do as the mentor then? Like,
Right.
I've just witnessed somebody that I'm like protecting and guiding. I've just
Get attacked.
Yeah, get attacked. So what is your role? I mean, is Ethan okay? But like also, what is your role with him from now?
So me and Ethan, and me and all my kids practically, we have a really close like relationship as far as what we tell each other, and we're very honest with each other. And I think me and Ethan and his mom and his family, we all know where Ethan stands as far as dance. Dance is something that he is passionate about. And as an instructor, not only as an instructor, but as a friend and a mentor, I guess you could say. I don't like to call myself that. But as an adult in his life, I kind of have to tell him, hey, just because you're hit by a wall, you have to figure out a way around it. Walls or obstacles make you stronger. So he was put in that position, but how will he stand up from it?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people, that's the main thing everybody talks about, him standing up. He's a 12-year-old, you know? But he did more than stand up. He's continuing, mentally, I feel like he grew so much dealing with all the visual effects of it, and then the news of like everything. Like he just grew so much as a person. And we had a talk the other day. How will you turn this around to be positive? How can we help you? And ultimately, I think he kind of realizes like, hey, it is up to me to make these decisions for myself, because we can only mentor so much.
Yeah.
We can only be like, hey, are you okay? So much. Then it becomes, what's your next step?
Right, and isn't that's like that kind of like age-old call to manhood, you know
Right.
what I mean? It's like he's like at that age, and that's really where you go from being like the one who is mentored to being a mentor to people who are younger than you. So
Right, and so like it's just basically all about growth. I feel like it was such a negative thing that happened that we have no other choice but to show him how to step forward in positivity. Show him what we've been teaching him, and for him to use those tools. A lot of people, they'll judge it as much as they can, but ultimately when it comes down to it, this is a boy who knows what he wants to do. He understands that his passion is dance, his passion is DJing, and that where he wants to be in life does not set in that negativity.
Yeah.
It sets through it. You see what I'm saying? Like he walks right through it. He walks right through it. And I think he understands that. And him as a person, he's so strong. I keep on telling people that he's so strong, incredibly strong. And we all know that, and he has a strong support system. So I think he'll be fine.
So in that strong support systems create strong young people.
Right.
Right. So how can the community support an institution like yours that is supporting young people? How can the community get involved, help out, do anything?
Okay, so one of the things that I know I kind of talked to him about and talked to his mom about, and any of the kids really, I feel like this is a big part of it. The kids just want to see support as far as numbers, seeing people at their events. We have Fingerprint Fest coming up. Me and E-Man have the event at Shakers coming up, where we'll be DJing for the night. So make sure you guys show up to that. And then
what's the date on that?
The date on that is August 8th.
Okay.
I believe the event will probably start around 6:30 and last until 1. I'll be DJing later on. E-Man and some of the kids will be in there with their parents, of course, dancing and DJing and stuff like that, kind of showing what we're about. You know what I mean?
Everybody needs to show up.
Everybody needs to show up to that.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
It's all about positivity, and with urban dance, a lot of people don't realize like how much urban arts affects the world's look. You know what I mean? So like everything is adopted, I believe, from urban
100%.
arts. You know what I'm saying? We talking about skaters. We're talking about
it's the heartbeat,
like street,
Afrofuturists, like hip hop, like all of it.
Everything, even down to the clothes, to the nails that we wear, the hair. You know, everything's come from urban. So I feel like that is a huge part of art, and I encourage you guys to come experience kids who are in that realm of the world, because I don't know why it's such a negative. I feel here in Cape, it was such a negative thing to be urban, you know, or maybe there wasn't a positive outlet that put urban art to the front.
That's what it is. You know what I mean? It's like when we can start to open our ears enough and listen to one another and see the beauty of other cultures in our culture. That only serves to support the economy. That only serves to, you know, propel things forward, to bring positive change without all the resistance. And it's really saying like everybody is creating really beautiful things. And you know, I just appreciate that you guys are at the fore of that, you know, that bringing some of the culture into our community through the arts. It has to be supported now more than ever. You know, it's such a vital thing you're doing.
Right. I really feel like just through this last week that we have so much support, and I appreciate everybody who has reached out and given their support. You know, just show your support for the kids and their events. We have that day of Fingerprint Fest. Fingerprint Fest last year brought around 300 different people from different states. So imagine what kind of economy just those kids having that event brought to Cape that one day. And if we could stand behind that and push it more, what it would do for Cape. Cape is a great town, is a family-oriented town, and I really feel like the arts is what's gonna put Cape even further. And that's anywhere, ultimately. So,
Save the arts. Support
Yes.
the arts. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's it.
That's
So thank you for being here, Michael. I'm really glad that you guys are doing okay and that you're transitioning into the light of positivity from a negative experience, you know. And we thank everybody for watching this. Again, you can check them out right outside of Shakers. Is that correct?
Right outside of Shakers.
August 8th?
Well, not outside, actually in Shakers.
Inside.
Yeah.
Okay, inside.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
That's
gonna
why we
be...
say with their parents, you know.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so we'll actually be the show for that night, that
Nice.
whole entire night. Of course, the kids won't be in there all night, but that's our culture.
Yeah.
We're there to show people our culture and what positivity can come. It's a anti-violence fundraiser. So of course we'll be donating to causes like Justice for Maddie or the Islamic Center or just basic scholarships at the studio for kids who can't afford to pay for dance classes. So that's the main outlook right now.
That's awesome. Thank you, Michael. And thanks to Top Talent. We hope everyone has a great weekend, and we'll see you next week.